What's up? So let's compare some foam clay today. You can actually buy a lot of different sets on Amazon with up to 64 different colors, and we're gonna look at how squishy, stretchy, rollable, moldable and sticky they are. And we're also gonna see how intense are the colors and how mixable are they, and of course how is the quality when they are dried. Well, let's find out. So the sets we got are this set with 50 colors of different foam clays. They are packed in little plastic bags of, I think, 10 grams. And there are a lot of different colors. Then we've got another with 24 colors. And they are actually in little plastic tubs. So we will also see which one is more practical. And lastly, there is one foam clay, and I'm still not sure if it's to mold and dry it. And this one is soft clay, and there's also a recipe for making slime on the back. And actually nothing about drying the clay. And then of course we're gonna compare it to my go-to brand, which is BOHS, which I've been using for over a year now, and I really love this brand. Let's start. So first I'm gonna take out the white foam clay of all of these. This also has a book full of cute little projects you can try. This one also has a lot of little projects. And it comes with a lot of plastic bags to put your foam clay in, which is kind of nice, but also a lot of plastic. So this is the foam clay I want to compare them to. You can see it is very stretchy, it is very squishy, and it's not very wet, and there's no foam clay sticking to my hands. So as you can see, the surface is really nice, there are no wrinkles. This one feels a lot wetter and also a bit more dense, but it is just as stretchy as the brand one. And there's nothing sticking to my hands. It actually feels really nice. It's just a bit more heavy, more like wet and silky and less foamy. So let's make a ball. Can you hear that? The sound is a lot different too. I think it's because it's wetter, but it's not bad. The surface becomes really smooth. Let's put the rest in the bag. This one is from the smaller set, and they all come in these little tubs. And they are a pain to open, which already makes me a bit angry. It's extremely stretchy, but it is a bit stickier. But you can always just scoop it up with the clay. But I kind of have the feeling that the white isn't as white as the others. So let's make a little ball. Okay, there is a big difference with this clay, which is kind of annoying. Like when you just touch it a bit, then it gets a lot of dents, and it's really hard to make a perfect little ball. So in comparison, if I touch the one from before, there is nothing. Also with the brand one, but this one gets squished instantly. It feels a bit more like really soft chewing gum. Let's see how it dries. So let's try the mystery soft clay. It feels really wet. It is very squishy, and there is nothing sticking to my hands. Also really stretchable. Let's make a ball. I kind of got the same problem with the one from before. I can't really make a nice ball because as soon as I touch it, it just gets all of these little dents, which is really annoying for foam clay. Because with foam clay it's already kind of hard to get a nice surface, but if the foam clay is like this, it is kind of impossible. But let's let it dry. I still got the feeling like the third one is a bit more dirty white than the others. The second one is a lot heavier than the brand. The third one is even heavier than that. This one is actually really light. So I will let them dry and we will continue to compare the colors. So I'm going to mix them with one of their blue colors. So I'll start with the brand one. So I'm gonna use this scale to just mix the exact same amounts of the colors so we can really compare it. I'm gonna make a ball again with those. So the color is very bright and intense, but it's just really hard to get a nice round ball. Now let's mix this one with the blue from the brand. This clay just feels really nice. I can see why they make slime out of this. And the white takes the color just as well as the brand one. And in the next part of this video, I'm going to make some foam clay magnets out of all of the different foam clays. So then we have a finished product we can compare. So I will start with my foam clay brand. I actually have a lot of different colors. I think I have all of them here. These are actually all the colors the brand has right now. So let's start with the first foam clay magnet.
You feel like something terrible is about to happen.
We will also see how easy they are to make marks on, because I like to make some marks on my flowers just to make them a bit more special. Also, I won't finish the faces because I want to try out how easy it is to paint on the clays with some pens and Posca markers. So let's move on to this set, which has really nice colors, and I'm excited to try them out and see how easy it is to build something with them. So forming this clay is actually kinda nice and it works really well. Let's see how good it sticks together. Okay, it doesn't stick together at all. Like, how are you supposed to make figures if it doesn't stick? We will get some water and see if that helps. So it is possible to stick them together, but it's kind of annoying that you have to use water, and while you're sticking them together, you kind of deform the clay just by holding it. Now let's see if we can make some marks on this clay. That actually works really well, but again you're kind of deforming them with every touch. And for this one we're going to make a little bee, which is a bit more complicated, so it should really test this clay. So having to use water all the time makes it kind of hard to attach the really small parts. So for me it's kind of annoying, but you're still able to work with it, and sometimes it can actually help you so it doesn't stick to everything it touches, but I prefer the sticky type. So this is the second magnet. Now let's move on to the second set. This is very exciting. Yeah. It kind of already feels like it doesn't stick, so we're going to have to use water again. And now making the marks. It's kind of the same as the one before. It works really well. So it is possible to connect them really well. It's just a bit hard forming them. But for me, the brand one I'm using, it's just a lot easier to get into the shape that I want, but it is still not bad at all. So because you have to use water, it's kind of hard to attach small pieces, especially in the right place. And now let's move on to the last foam clay. So let's mix some colors and make this last magnet. So now is the moment to see if this clay sticks. Ah, it sticks a little bit. Let's see if this is enough to stick the flower together. Yes, this actually worked really well. My only issue with this clay is that as soon as you touch it, you will change the shape. And now the marking test. This also works really well. Because this clay is so easy to shape, it's actually really hard to get it into the shape you want. So I'm really struggling right now. So let's jump to a few days later. So it's about a week later and the figures are dried through. So now I can start painting the details. And for that I'm gonna use a Posca marker and a micron pen to see if they work well on the clay. So they all worked pretty well, although the third one took up a lot of color, so it's really hard to make fine lines. With the other two there was no problem at all. Let's see if we can smudge the colors. So they all hold perfectly, so you can draw on any of these clays. Now let's take a look at the finished pieces. So color-wise, it kind of looks like the two middle ones are more dirty white than the other ones. The blue ones are pretty similar, only the third one is a bit more vibrant than the others. Onto the form and texture, the middle ones are a lot harder while the outer ones are really squishy. And maybe most important of all, the form is very different between the clays. So the brand one gets really round while drying, and if you use a really soft surface like this, it doesn't squish itself at all. And even though I flipped them while drying, the other ones all got a flat bottom. But this can actually be either good or bad. Let's look at the finished pieces. The brand one got really round on the bottom again, so it doesn't really stay flat on the surface. The others, especially the last one, are pretty flat. So in my opinion, the key differences are the stickiness, with the middle ones only sticking together with using water. The moldability, the last two are a bit hard to form since you constantly deform them only by holding them in your hands, and the end form of the clay. There's just a big difference in how they turn out and how hard they get. So in conclusion, I think there are different uses for the different characteristics of the clays. So for example, the brand one is too soft to use for jewelry or keychains, but with the two middle ones, which get a lot harder, this could be possible. But on the other hand, I wouldn't use the two middle ones for a big figure since they're squishing themselves and are a lot harder to mold. So if you're starting out with foam clay, I would still recommend the brand one, even though it can be more expensive. But by just getting the basic colors and mixing the other colors yourself, you get a really good set to work with, because I definitely think this one is a lot easier for a beginner to use. But if you want to use foam clay for jewelry or for something that has to be more durable, I would definitely try out one of those, since even the small parts get really hard. Only the last one, I can't really recommend it because I just can't see any advantages over the others. Except if you also want to make slime out of it, then definitely try it out. I really hope this video helped and you could enjoy it even though it wasn't the most exciting topic. And subscribe if you didn't already, and leave a comment if you have any more questions. Bye!